Do you ever notice how the older you get, the more your definition of important starts to shift? Like suddenly, it's not about big moments or big milestones anymore. It's the small things, the everyday rhythms, the people who feel the quiets in between. And you don't really notice it's happening until you're away from it, until you moved abroad for university and you're living on your own. And the things you once brushed off, they hit differently. The conversations you used to zone out of, the voices in the next room, even the chaos of family life, you start to realize they weren't just noise, they were home. I've been away from home for a while now, and I knew I missed my family, but I didn't realize how much. Not just in the big obvious way, but in the quiet ways. The way my mom will barge into my room, tell me something exciting about her day, or some gossip that she heard about the family abroad. The way my dad laughed at any joke, or the fact that he always had an interesting story to tell from his past. And yes, I even miss the way my brother and sister used to annoy me constantly. I realize now that I would do anything to be annoyed by them in person again. It's strange how distance gives you clarity, how you start to remember the moments that didn't feel special at the time, but now they live in your head like little movies you didn't know you missed. And maybe I think that's what growing up does. It softens you. It makes you pay attention to things you once took for granted. You stop needing everything to be perfect or exciting, and you start craving realness, familiarity, warmth, people who know you without having to explain yourself. And sometimes I wonder how many moments I let pass by because I was too busy, too focused on worrying about something else, too caught up in my own head to be present. So I finished editing. The only thing I need to do is add music now. I was supposed to receive a packet today. I received the email that apparently the packet did come. When I arrived home, the packet was nowhere to be seen. I don't know what to do. Otherwise, the day has been quite nice. The weather has been weathering. So all we can do is stay positive and then see what happens. But this week is an exciting one. We have a lot of things planned. Also trying out a new mic. Sorry for the audio quality. Maybe it's better, I don't know. It's time to have some dinner. It's a bread bowl because guys, I'm obsessed with bread bowls. Crossing my fingers that everything turns out right. I think about the holidays I spent stressing over exams instead of enjoying the people around me. Or the nights I stayed up replaying something I said, instead of just being in the moment with people who love me exactly as I am. And it's one of those lessons you don't fully learn until you've already missed a few things that mattered. And I'm not trying to sound dramatic, I just think we don't talk about this enough. How easy it is to overlook something when it feels permanent, and how suddenly you realize that nothing is. And I think part of why we miss the present is because we're so focused on the future. We constantly ask ourselves what's next, what's expected, what should we be doing right now? And that's where I am right now, stuck in this weird in between. Because for so long, being a student has been my identity. It's predictable, structured, and safe in its own way. You always know what's coming, the next semester, the next exam, the next break. There is always a timeline. But now that timeline is running out for me. I am about to graduate soon, and I'm realizing that I don't have a plan. I mean, I have ideas, I have things I love and that I'm passionate about. For instance, I want to continue creating content. I want to grow this community, and I want to see where this takes me. I also love writing, but I also enjoy cooking and baking and experimenting in the kitchen. I also love meeting new people and getting to know their story. I have so many passions and so many things I want to do, but I don't have it all mapped out. And for someone like me that used to think that I had to have everything figured out and know exactly where I'm going, right now it's very terrifying to be in a place where I don't. Everyone talks about the freedom one gets after one finishes university, but no one talks about how paralyzing it can feel when you don't know what direction to go in, especially if you have the pressure of figuring out perfect direction for you. Suddenly, you're supposed to become this functional adult with a job and a life, but all I feel some days is lost and so alone in feeling like this. So, guys, guess who just received the packet? Excited about this. So, funny story, the packet actually arrived on Friday, but the thing is, they threw it on the balcony, and today, me and my roommates found it. So that was very weird, because what if it was like super fragile? They would have broken it. I actually sent a complaint, so now I kind of feel bad. I did email them saying that I actually did receive the packet in the end. I did. This is not sponsored, but we got some protein. Again, not sponsored, but I do love their protein. Now we're gonna go do some homework. Yesterday was a lot of doing content and going to events, and today is literally doing all the homework that I need to do. I have my final presentation for a project. I have to read for one of my classes. So kind of busy, you know. Happy about this, overthought too much about it, but this is one less thing to worry about. I feel like I'm floating between who I have been and who I am supposed to become. And what makes it harder is feeling like I can't talk about it. Everyone else seems to have it all figured out, or at least look like they do. But then here I am, staring at my laptop, trying to pick a path, and wondering if I'm the only one who's scared of taking the wrong step. Picking the wrong thing, feeling like I don't know what the point of going to the next chapter is if I don't have a plan already in mind. But maybe that's the point of this chapter. Not to know exactly where I'm going, but to start trusting that I'll figure it out as I go. That maybe nothing has to click right now, and that's okay. That I should instead focus on enjoying what I do have and also enjoy those little moments in the day, the ones about being a student, something that perhaps I won't be in my next chapter. That I should enjoy the moments where I'm pulling all-nighters to finish a group project, enjoy the little parties I'm having with my classmates instead of worrying about the parties I won't get to have. Enjoying this time where I'm far away from my family, and while I miss them, it's allowing me to grow and to get to know myself a bit better. Enjoying those little moments where I take care of myself. That I should focus on enjoying those simple meals I can whip up after a long day of school and responsibilities. That instead of trying to finally find something that clicks for me right now, what's more important is that I'm trying to be myself every day. And that might be the best way to prepare myself for the next chapter in my life. I used to think that by the time I hit a certain age, things would have to click. I'll wake up one day when I was 18 and suddenly feel like an adult. When I turned 18, I thought that I just had to know what I was meant to do, what it was supposed to be, and what my path had to look like. But spoiler alert, that never really happened. If anything, the older I get, the more I realize that figuring it out isn't this final destination. It's more like a constant unfolding where you try things, fail, grow, and keep moving forward even when you're unsure. So right now, I'm just trying to study some statistics. Today's a busy day because we have our final presentation. It just hit me that things are just coming to an end, you know? This is my final presentation in a couple of weeks. I have to deliver my German project. I'm about to finish basically all my classes. Yeah, I finished my internship. Basically, the next steps are studying, and it's just hitting right now that exams are so close. I'm graduating soon. How crazy is that? But what worries me the most is I don't know what next steps are. I feel a bit lost in a sense. Oh my god. No one talks about how being a student and having your day structured is kind of even refreshing. You know that you have to do homework, you know you have to study. When you don't have like a structure to your day, it just makes you feel lost. I don't know how to explain it. Am I the only one that feels this way? I would love to know, because right now that's how it feels. Like I am the only one that's experiencing this. I'm kind of gonna miss being a student in a very weird way. I mean, I'm always learning, so I guess I am always a student. You know what I mean, right? Like I'm not gonna be in school or high school or university. Maybe I am, I don't know. It's like the thing, I don't know what's gonna happen next. And right now, our focus are the exam, which I'm very worried about because I want to do well, obviously. But speaking of exams, we should probably get back to studying before our final presentation. Let's just cross our fingers that it goes well. That's all we can do. Always try our best. If our best is only 40% today, then that's all right. But we're gonna give it our all and see what happens. Wish me luck, guys. And I've started to realize maybe that's not a bad thing after all. I mean, we've been told that we have to have control of our life, that uncertainty is our biggest enemy. But what if it's our best friend? Maybe growing up isn't about having everything planned out. Maybe it's about learning how to live inside uncertainty, to live with your imperfections. Maybe growing up, it's about letting go of the pressure to be perfect, to be successful, be on track, and instead realize that the best thing you can do as you grow is to be present with where you are right now. Because the truth is, despite what others tell you, most of us are just doing our best, and the version of success we hold ourselves to is often based on someone else's timeline, someone else's expectations, someone else's journey. But what if you allow yourself more room to figure things out slowly, to figure out things in your own time, to not rush it, and instead be okay with not knowing, and trusting that clarity comes with time? I guess that's what's been on my mind lately. Not just the uncertainty of where life is going, but the way we move through it without really noticing the weight of time as it passes. We all get so focused on the big picture, the goals, the next step, the version of ourselves we think we're supposed to become, that makes us stop paying attention to the small, ordinary things that are shaping us in real time. I've been thinking about how many moments I rushed through because I was too busy worrying about what was coming next. Like I'll be halfway through a dinner with my family, and instead of being fully there, I'll already be planning the next day in my head. The deadlines I needed to hit, the ways I hadn't done enough that day. But now that I lived away for about 3 years, those small moments feel so big in hindsight. I wish I could be sharing moments like this with my family now. Moments where I get to do content that I enjoy for small cafes and restaurants around Berlin. I truly wish I had someone to share this with. Be it my mom, my dad, or my brother or sister. The jokes at the dinner table. The familiar routines. The silence that doesn't feel awkward because it's shared. Those are the things I find myself craving. No one talks about or mentions how much space distance takes up in your heart. How strange it feels to love people so deeply and not being able to reach for them when you need comfort. Not because anything is wrong, but just because your life and theirs exist in different places, and you start to carry them with you in a different way. And it's easy to feel guilty about that. Like maybe you should have called more, stayed longer, paid closer attention. But something I've learned is that regret only holds weight when we don't learn from it. And that it shouldn't be about trying to go back, but about showing up better now. And it's strange, isn't it? How life moves so fast, and yet some days feel like nothing is changing. But then a week like this happens where I blink and realize that my little brother isn't just little anymore. He's turning 18, which is a big stepping stone in anyone's life. This made me start thinking a lot about what that age meant to me when I reached it. How I thought again that adulthood was supposed to feel different, like a door you walk through where everything suddenly would make sense, but it didn't. And honestly, it still doesn't always make sense. Even now, after 3 years, I'm learning that growing up doesn't mean knowing who you're meant to be. It just means learning to live with the questions a little better. After all, guys, we're all just trying to do our best every day, trying to be more patient with ourselves, trying to let go of what we thought we were supposed to be by now. And it's not always easy, is it? To give yourself the room, the grace, when everything feels like it's moving too fast, or when nothing feels like it's moving at all. Those moments, I find that are hard for me to give myself room to just be. I still have this pressure on myself that I constantly need to be productive and do something every day. But sometimes growth is just doing nothing at all. Even if some weeks feel like you're standing still while everyone else is racing ahead, maybe the best thing that you can do that week for you is to take a deep breath before moving forward, even when everything around you feels like it's moving too quickly. And I think again, I've been in this in between where I'm still trying, still growing, but quietly overwhelmed by how uncertain everything feels. But I keep trying to come back to this reminder that doing your best doesn't always look productive or put together by other standards. That sometimes the most productive thing that day can just be showing up, tired, unsure, messy, still showing up, and that can look so different for everyone. It might be choosing to enjoy a good movie or two, or go outside for a nice little walk, or enjoying a nice meal out and trying a different kind of place, and getting to try a whole new different meal. Another day, it might be grinding and doing whatever you're passionate about. It can be to take your first yoga class, or it can be taking that online course you've always wanted to take. All of those ways can be examples of showing up for yourself, and they don't have to be extravagant in any way. Now we're going to another event. I've got some snack with me, edamame and apple. I really don't want to go, but I know I'm gonna love it. So, anyways, we're running late, as always. But that's still something I'm working on, especially in weeks like this where I feel so far from everything that I used to know, where I don't have a clear picture of what comes next, where I'm missing home more than ever, and missing those moments where I got to be there for celebrating birthdays, physically be there with the ones I love the most. Cumpleaños feliz, cumpleaños feliz, cumpleaños Alexandro, cumpleaños feliz. But even though I'm not physically there, hearing their voices made me feel like I was home just for a second. In that moment, it didn't matter that I didn't have everything figured out. And maybe that's something that you've also been needing to remember that it's okay if you don't have all the answers yet. You're allowed to feel lost and still be growing. Even if no one sees it, your growth still counts, no matter how quiet it is.